Hi everyone, my name is Robin Lewis. I've recently been building a lot of boxes and I wanted to share 6 tips on how to improve your exposed dowel joinery. Exposed dowels aren't as popular as they once were, but if you do them right, they do look really good. However, do them wrong and they immediately point out that it was a rush job. So, in no particular order, once you have the dowel glued in place and sanded back, it's going to be perfectly flush with the face grain for a little while. But give it a few months and that'll change because the dowel is perpendicular to the face grain, so it won't expand and contract in the same way. In my experience, the dowel always ends up just a hair proud of the face. So keep this in mind when you're designing your piece. If you want a high gloss mirror finish, exposed dowels might not be the way to go. Make sure you get a good drill bit and that it's the right drill bit. This is the wrong guy. And unless it's incredibly sharp, there's a good chance you'll tear the fibers of the face grain on the way in. What you need is a brad point bit. It works like a spade bit or Forstner bit with a center point and 2 outside cutting edges or spurs. These make sure the face grain fibers are cut cleanly without tear out, so you get a sharp line around the dowel. I have 3 doweling bits, a 6mm, 8mm and 9.5mm, and they do nothing else except drill dowel holes. This one is really important. Once the drill bit's spinning, make sure to enter the cut slowly so that the spurs have enough time to cut through the fibers of the face grain cleanly. Otherwise, you run the risk of tear out. Once the drill bit's cut through about 1/16 of an inch or a couple millimeters, then you can start applying normal pressure, making sure to remove chips often. On that note, if you're worried about how straight or plumb the hole is, watch it as it gets cut. If you see the hole forming on one side, you're coming in at an angle. It's a good idea to drill the hole deeper than the length of the dowel that you need in order to accommodate for trapped air. This is more important if you're using solid dowel, not the fluted kind. If you need to insert a 25mm dowel, drill a 30mm hole. This is really important if the side walls are thin, because under all that pressure they can fail, and you'll know this has happened because glue will start to seep out. And don't overdo the glue, because unlike air, that glue does not want to compress. And lastly, consider using a water-based or PVA glue, as the water content in this will cause the dowel to expand and fill that hole that's been drilled. This ultimately gives you a much better finish once it's sanded down. That line will be a lot sharper. This also has the added benefit that the dowel doesn't have to be too tight on the way in, so you don't need to fight friction. It can be a little bit loose, and then as the glue dries, it will expand to fill that space. And one last bonus tip, and this is personal and subjective, so do with it what you will, but it's very common to use a contrasting dowel to the piece of wood that it's going into, but it doesn't have to be that way. Of all the times I've used that in projects in the past, I look back and wish that I'd done something a little more subtle. Show restraint, remember what the hero of the piece is, and often a subtle detail is more exciting to find. I hope you found these tips helpful. If there's any that you think I've missed, please go ahead and leave them in the comments down below for everyone else. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.